new exciting programs for businesses and startups in the Watford area. My name is Nicola Ryle. I'm a business owner myself and a marketing specialist, and I'm a founder member of the program provider Brandwin Business Support. I have studied, lived, worked as an employee, and then have run businesses in the Watford area for over 40 years. I know, I look too young for all of that. These two programmes were commissioned by Watford Borough Council, which is committed to helping our local businesses and are being fully supported by our very own vibrant Chamber of Commerce. They've been designed to help Watford companies develop and grow by helping business owners and would-be business owners adapt, change and thrive in the modern and, dare I hope for, post-COVID economy. The programmes provide a range of support, including in-depth, really practical webinars, facilitated groups, some networking, and one-to-one confidential business advice sessions. The really amazing thing is that, thanks to Watford Borough Council, these are free to participating Watford-based businesses, micros and startups. It doesn't matter what kind of business you run, who you are selling to, where you're selling it. If you are a Watford business, you are eligible for all of these services within the two programmes free of charge. Brandwin Business Support is delighted to be providing the programmes on behalf of the council, and my colleague, Nowza Manickshaw, our Managing Director, will give you a little more information about us shortly. The content of the two programmes covers two very broad and completely different areas. One is in the digital arena, so digital skills, tooling up for the digital world. And although the digital world has been with us for quite a long time, many people who are technically very able in their own area are quite worried about what to do with LinkedIn, social media, how their website should be working, how to use software to best support them. But we'll go into that in a little bit more detail later on. And then my colleague Elsa is heading up the Women Entrepreneurs programme, and I'm delighted to say that she'll be talking a little bit more about her programme very shortly. So we will be looking at the range and the depth of those practical topics and programmes a little bit later on this morning. Our agenda for today is, I don't know, Nowza, if you want to put up the slides, you're most welcome to do so at this point. Our agenda for today is some introductions to our key partners. So specifically, that is the Watford Council, and also for our colleagues in the Chamber. And we'll be taking an in-depth look at both the programmes and what is available to you. Finally, we'll move on to the important bit, how to get involved, how to sign up, and what happens next. I am delighted that Jane has managed to join us. I know you're having a few technical issues there, Jane. It gives me very great pleasure to introduce her. I'm hoping she's nearly ready, and I don't need to talk for very much longer, but I am so thrilled, I can't tell you, to be introducing Jane, because I think I met you, Jane, perhaps in the first 2 or 3 weeks as the Economic Development Officer at Watford Council, way back when.
That's right.
Quite a few years ago now, but it feels like yesterday, is all I can say. And what's really interesting and was fun for me at the time is that we met in the business suite at West Herts College. Now, this was formerly known as Watford Tech to all who went there, and it was very down at hill, very nothing like the swish environment that it is now when I attended it and did my A-levels there. It was, generally speaking, quite a nuts and bolts sort of place with lots of printing courses, and the world has moved on, and it's now this wonderful Swish Learning Academy, which is a fantastic thing. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Jane, who's going to talk more about her role, what the Watford Borough Council is hoping to achieve with commissioning these programmes, and over to you, Jane.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. And apologies, I did have some technical glitches. You'd have thought after the best part of 2 years of working virtually, we'd have got them all ironed out, but obviously not quite this morning. What I just kind of want to give a bit of a background in terms of kind of what the council is doing at the moment to support our businesses kind of all the way through the pandemic and kind of continue forward. And we absolutely know how difficult it has been, how challenging it has been for businesses since the start of the pandemic, with a variety of lockdowns and restrictions on operation. But throughout this, we have tried to work as quickly and as efficiently as possible to support our business community by delivering a programme of grants and programs of business support, advice and guidance, of which these 2 new programmes are just part of that sort of portfolio. So to give a kind of bit of context, so since April 2020, as a council, we've distributed around £38 million worth of grants to businesses just in Watford, which really has been unprecedented for us as a local authority to be in a position to do that. On top of that, we've given a similar amount of business rate relief credits to businesses in specific sectors. So it's a significant amount of money that's kind of gone into the local economy to kind of support our businesses, but we're absolutely not taking it for granted that we're kind of over the hump of COVID and what that means to our businesses and about the ongoing support that they need. We obviously had the Omicron variant kind of really come to the fore towards the end of last year, which kind of certainly knocked back our hospitality and leisure sector in a way that we hadn't anticipated even a few weeks before that. So I'm really pleased that this week we will be launching a kind of suite of grants specifically to help businesses most impacted by Omicron. So there's grants for the hospitality and leisure sector, which the Chancellor announced just before Christmas, so they will be coming online this week. But we've also, as a local authority, are launching 2 further kind of grant programs, again to support impacted businesses that are not eligible for that government scheme. So that would include businesses like our close contact services, so hairdressers, beauticians, as well as a range of other types of businesses. And we have 2 versions of that grant, again launching this week, one for businesses that occupy commercial premises, but also recognising that we have businesses who operate in those impacted sectors who work on a kind of sole trader, mobile, freelance basis. So looking to provide them with some support. So as I say, information will be kind of coming out for the council this week. In terms of other programs that we're running at the moment that are live, and I would really encourage all of our businesses to kind of look to see what there is on the watfordbusiness.com website. So our, in essence, sort of flagship program is the Watford Growth Grant. So this is for businesses with 5 to 20 employees, and they can apply for grants of up to £10,000. There's no match required, and these grants are specifically to support our businesses to kind of invest in their future, whether that's investing in some consultancy that will help them do something they're not doing at the moment, or invest in product development or equipment that's going to enable them to be more productive, more sustainable as a business going forward. Kind of parallel to that, recognising that all businesses are different, our third sector has been significantly impacted in Watford. So we have a a grant for our charity businesses. So these are registered businesses, registered community interest companies, social enterprises, registered with the Charity Commission, who again can apply for very specific grants to help them move the services they deliver to Watford residents forward. So again, any third sector businesses, I would encourage to look at that. Importantly for Watford and many other places is the impact of climate change and environmental sustainability. So we're really pleased to have very recently launched a new programme of the Sustainable Business Programme, which is providing support to our businesses to improve their environmental sustainability, and in doing so help them kind of improve their bottom line. So how can you save costs by being more sustainable? How can you kind of improve your efficiency by being more sustainable? So there'll be a number of workshops free to attend coming up soon. So again, please do look out for announcements for those, and anybody who's on the Watford Link Up platform, which I'm sure the Chamber will kind of talk about a bit later on. Those events are kind of all in there, so please sort of check them out and do sign up to those free to attend events. And we also have running currently what we refer to as the Watford Young Entrepreneurs Programme. So this is specifically for young business owners, 18 to 13-year-olds, to enable them to take their business forward and grow it, and with a particular focus on businesses who are in the kind of creative and green sectors for the second wave of that programme. So we're really very excited about the outputs that we will get from that, and the business boost those younger people attending will receive from that. So the kind of today's kind of launch of these two new programs that Nicola was referring to earlier is really an add-on to that wider portfolio of business support that the council has currently available to our businesses. And importantly, as Nicola was saying, all of these programs are free to attend for Watford businesses. So I think they're kind of excellent programs that do have been carefully considered by talking to our businesses. What are the kind of particular needs businesses are facing at the moment? And these programs are designed to help fill those gaps in the support that our kind of local businesses are asking for. And we're not complacent, we're not kind of sitting around, and we will have further programs sort of launching in the next week or two, again, to provide additional support for our businesses. So please do look out for them. And if you have any questions or uncertain, just drop to the watfordbusiness.com website, and that has information on all of these kind of key programs listed on that website. So that's kind of all I want to kind of say this morning. So if I can hand back to you, Nicola, that would be fabulous.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Jane. There's so much going on, there's so much available. So I really urge you to have a look at all of the different websites and programs which Jane has signposted you to, and to get involved, because there is lots of opportunity in Watford at the moment, being really supported by the local council. So thank you very much for that, Jane. I would now like to welcome somebody who probably doesn't need a great deal of trailblazing, the very wonderful Saffron Johnson, Operations Director at the Chamber of Commerce. I think there probably isn't a business person in Watford who doesn't know you, Saffron. I think this is probably true. And for your sins, you work with the wonderful, illustrious Chris Luff, MBE, Chief Executive of Watford, and the West Herts Chamber of Commerce, but I know who does an awful lot of the legwork, because he is like a butterfly going around with lots of wonderful ideas, but you're the person who gets all the projects across the line. So thank you very much for joining us this morning, Saffron. You work tirelessly, not only for the Chamber, but also for Chris's brainchild and baby, the Chamber of Conscience in Watford, which has done so much good for so many people, not only business owners, but for the well-being of our employees in the Watford area as well. Because I think that's such an important thing at a time of crisis. Let's face it, has been a very difficult time. So I'm delighted to introduce you. It makes a change for me to be introducing you rather than the other way around. Do you want to say a few words about why the Chamber is supporting these two programmes that we're running, and how to get involved more with the Chamber and all the wonderful work that you do too?
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. I think you hit the nail right on the head there. So thank you kindly for that. You know, we've known each other for quite a long time. We've done lots of work with Branduin and worked really closely with the council. And I want to start by saying how lucky is, I think, probably the right word, in that there is so much support out there at the moment. You know, Watford Borough Council are a very forward-thinking organisation and extremely supportive of businesses, and there is so much available out there at the moment. Thank you to all of the attendees that are here today. I can see the list, I can see some members in there, some new members in there, so it's great to have you here this morning. So for those of you that don't know or might not know, my name is Saffron. I'm Operations Director of the Chamber of Commerce. I've been working with the Chamber for about 4 years now, but prior to that, I spent 6 years working for Wenta. So very well versed in small businesses, support for businesses, and that's where I think I came across the thing that I enjoyed most, which was making the right connections, supporting businesses and watching businesses grow. So one of the questions I'm asked a lot is, what is a Chamber of Commerce? The amount of people that say to me, what is a Chamber of Commerce? So Chambers of Commerce, as we know, have been around for years, and traditionally they're a business-to-business members organisation. You pay a membership in return for benefits. So yeah, that's great. When Chris and I first started at the Chamber, we wanted to try and start doing things a little bit differently. It was still very traditional. It was still lots of breakfast meetings and big corporate events. And whilst it was great to network and sort of grow your network, there seemed to be something missing. So we both went on this drive to change the way that people look at business and change the way we do things. Roll on 3.5, 4 years to where we are now, we've managed to create a really brilliant network of businesses within the Watford area that basically want to give something back. So along with our really successful partnerships that we have with the college and with Watford Borough Council, we're really able to make a difference to people's businesses. The strategy is that we're here to help you grow your business. So the most important thing in business is visibility. You know, people aren't going to tap into your business unless they know who you are. So your network and your visibility is the most important thing. So at the Watford Chamber, we concentrate on real benefits for your business. What I love about what we do is that not only do we work with one-man bands, entrepreneurs, we also work with huge, great big corporates as well. And there is a real want in Watford for everybody to work together. So that is great. There's lots and lots of things that we do. Not many people know that we actually have an export team within the Watford Chamber. So we're responsible for lots and lots of documents that get signed off and stamped. Anything that gets shipped outside what was the EU, locally, all the documents come through the Chamber. A huge part of what we do is work with young people. So I'm sure most of you have heard about the Kickstart scheme. The Chamber's been a gateway for the Kickstart scheme, and we have, at the moment, I think we've just placed our 35th young person within our organisation. It's been such a brilliant scheme. It's been such a great success. But what that means is our Chamber strategy has changed. So I mentioned that we concentrate on real benefits for your business. So what we've come up with is the tools for you to make your small business a big business. So the Chamber has many, many benefits. There are networking opportunities. There are opportunities to become more visible and connect locally. But what we've managed to do with the brilliant team of people that we have is recruitment, and the way that we recruit is changing. So what we've managed to do with our young people, instead of molding them around a vacancy that we have within our organisation, we're speaking to young people and finding out what they're good at, what makes them tick, and then we're molding what we need around them. So what we have within our network is some incredible talent. You know, some guys are very good at digital. Digital is great. This is why we're here today, because, you know, digital is the way that you can become more visible. But within digital, you've got creatives, you've got the analytics side of it, you've got the marketing side of it, you've got the graphic design part of it. One of the members of our team can help with that. So for all of our businesses, we offer support with social media, digital marketing, graphic design, because that's what businesses need. We also have the ability to work in a virtual space. So the metaverse is coming. As I said, again, we're talking about digital. We give all of our businesses in Watford access to a virtual office platform where you can drop in, you can speak about membership, you can speak about business support, you can speak about a lot of the grants that Watford have got out there. We also have a platform called LinkUp, which Jane spoke about earlier on. So what we've created in conjunction with the Watford bid is a very much like LinkedIn platform, but it's very Watford centric. It is available to all different users, but if you want the full functionality of it, you need to be a Watford bid or a Watford Chamber member. And by the way, if anybody wants to have that conversation after this meeting or at any point, you're more than welcome to come and drop into our virtual office. Have a look at Watford LinkUp. There's local events on there. There's all the information about the grants. There is jobs that go up on there. There is all different ways that you can connect and grow your business using the Watford LinkUp platform. I'm just going to have a look at my notes now. I really like what Jane said in that all businesses are different. So the support that you get from the Chamber is bespoke. What we do is sit down and have a real deep dive into what the needs of your business is and how we can support you. We also come up with a plan of regular catch-ups and making sure that you're accessing all the support that you need, that you're speaking to the right people. This support that is available in Watford at the moment, please make the most of it. There are some incredibly talented people out there that have been exactly where some of you on this call might be today, and the support is free. It's really geared up at let's get the Watford economy back and bouncing. You know, we're lucky that our town economically punches way above its weight. We've got some amazing organisations that have made this town their home. You know, there's also some great plans about the development of the town centre, the concentration on creatives, and, you know, I can't say enough stuff about Watford and how great a place that it is. Nicola touched on sustainability. So there's some great sustainable courses that you can go on that, yes, will improve your bottom line if you're more sustainable. We're also working on a program called Feeding Our Future at the moment, and that is talking about the eradication of food waste and also planting trees in the local area as part of the Queen's Green Canopy. We're working on youth hubs. We're working on so many incredible projects with so many incredible people. You know, the message from the Chamber is that there is support out there for you, and make the most of speaking to all different people. The most critical thing about business is your network, your connections, and who you surround yourself with. The support is there. There's people out there that, you know, are willing to talk to you and again, I can't say enough good stuff about these courses that are available. Myself and Chris are always available to talk. We have a virtual office space. There's a lot of people on the call that have used it. It's a platform called Remo. Come and have a look. We've all got desks, there's meeting spaces, there's the ability to share documents and bounce off each other. People are more than welcome to drop in and have a chat. We can then signpost to some of the incredible things that are going on. So I think that's kind of enough for me. Chris was going to join us today, but, and actually that's just reminded me of what he's doing. Mental health and mental health first aid awareness is very, very high on the agenda. We touched on well-being in the workplace. We've touched on mental health with young people. You know, we've been through some really, really difficult times. So the Chamber is delivering free mental health first aid awareness training. It's a half-day course, and it really is a great course. Chris at the moment is training 15 people a day from Camelot, because they're the funders of the course, but it's a real eye-opener into being able to, again, signpost to people. If you look on the Chamber website or you look on Link Up, all of the dates are on there. It's completely free of charge, so you can jump on there and get some training as well. So I think that's kind of enough for me. I don't know if I've gone over or under the 10 minutes.
Don't worry,
thanks very much for having me. And if anybody wants to have a chat, I'll put my email address up in the chat box. So if you want to have a chat about anything Watford, anything business, please give me a shout.
And there's a little note from Liz in the chat as well to all the panelists, which says that she offers yoga and relaxation techniques. I'm sure Saffron would love to take you up on that. And to be honest with you, I'm also a yoga teacher. That's a bit of my one of my spare time hobbies. And I'm passionate about all of the things to do with wellness. I cannot stress enough the importance of engaging with the council and the Chamber for support. There is so much out there and so many willing people, and you don't need to try and build your business on your own. And I think that's the most important thing. The businesses, well, more to the point, because the business doesn't do this, but the business owners who reach out and ask for help and ask support do get it. And they're not alone, and that is such a benefit. And we know within Brandwood Business Support that businesses which have regular input from external supporters, may it be a business advisor or some other form of support from the Chamber or from the council, are far more likely to be still in business in 5 years' time. And what's more, to have grown that business very significantly. So there are statistics which prove that working within a network is really a positive thing for your business, and it will help it make it a success. There are no new problems or challenges in business. They've all been dealt with by somebody before. So speaking to somebody who's been through it and got the battle scars can shorten the learning curve for you, and make sure that you don't fall into one or two pitfalls that we know are on the way. And I myself run more than one business, as do all of the business advisors within Brandwood Business Support, which leads me nicely on to introducing my managing director at Brandwood Business Support, Nowza Manickshaw, who is going to be talking a little bit more about Brandwood Business Support, what we do and how we help people, and a little bit about the sort of background to these particular programs. So over to you, Nowza.
Okay, thank you, Nicola. I'm just going to share my screen. Just let me know if you all can see it, please. Can you see it there, Nicola? Nicola, can you see my screen? Or Elsa, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see. Sorry, I got myself on mute, which was
okay, right. Okay, excellent.
A novice's error. Sorry, carry on. No
problem. Okay, great. Just trying to put it on screen. Right. Okay, great. Here we are. Okay, so thank you all. There's somebody in the attendance list, Emma Finn. Thank you, Emma. She's the consultant, the economic development consultant for Watford, and she's been instrumental in working and helping us to put this whole thing together. So many thanks to you, Emma, first. Thank you, Jane, and thank you, Saffron, too. And we're going to take about 15-20 minutes. We'll explain to you what the program is about. I'll be bringing in Nicola and Elsa into the presentation as well. They've got a few things to say as well. Great. So we'll go through a few introductions. We'll tell you about who we are and what we do. And then we'll dive into the digital skills and women entrepreneurs. We'll tell you about the schedule, what we're going to deliver, the workshops, the webinars, and one-to-one advice sessions as well, and how you can register and onboard and join the program. So we'll be here for about 12-15 minutes, and then we plan to open it up for a Q&A. Any questions will be most welcome. Okay, so a bit about myself. There's a lot of text here, but essentially I joined Brandwin about a year after it was founded by Steve. Nicola was a co-founder as well. And one of the things we believe in is in partnering with key organizations. Hence, our business model is based on partnering with local chambers. Hence, we've got a strong connection with Watford Chamber and many other chambers you'll see in a screen here shortly. My personal sort of passion is the business model and value proposition. It's a very simple one-page business plan, as it were, to look into your business, and it comes up with it helps identify key issues, and we can address them as well if you want to. So I've been doing this for about, I left my employment with Xerox and with Ricoh Japan about in 2006. So it's been 15, 16 years now, and it's been a great journey. But the key point I'm trying to make is, and we'll be looking at a webinar much later in a different sort of program, is developing key partnerships. I would urge you to think about, if you want to go it alone, you'll go very fast. If you want to go far, develop a partnership. That's what I've learned, and that's the sort of bedrock of our business model. Okay, so on that basis, could you please join us here?
Yep,
Nicola,
here I am.
to you.
So a little bit about me. I started off my first proper job, so to speak, was at the Building Research Establishment, just up the road in Garston. At that time, it was completely government run, and I was a civil servant. And then I rapidly worked out that civil service was not the right place for me, because I was just too much of a maverick, and I needed to find something else which allowed me to spread my wings a little bit more and not do what I was told by government the entire time. I went from there through a slightly circuitous route to American Express, where I headed up the database marketing team, where we basically had one of the very first, what you call CRMs, customer relationship databases, and I had a team of programmers because it was all on mainframe, as it's way back in the distant past. From there, I went to Coca-Cola, and finally, after a bit of thought about the whole thing, I decided that I would like to start my own business. So I think it was 1992, I set up Royal Marketing. And also took over my father's business on the commercial side, which is a psychometric instrument which is sold globally. So I have experience of export, working in a global market, as well as locally in the business-to-business marketing arena. And I, as I said earlier, founder member of Brandwin. I've worked with Nauza for so long that we can't really remember where it started. And I love the whole teamwork of working with the Brandwin team. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. I've got loads of experience in marketing, and over the years we've gone from printed brochures and adverts in magazines right the way through to this digital world that we live in now. And I've adapted and moved with the times, which has allowed my business to still be where it is, at the cutting edge of marketing. And that's where I want to take the digital skills for all of our people who attend those, is to get you business savvy in the digital arena. I'd now like to pass you over to Elsa, who's going to talk a little bit about her program and her background. Thank you, Elsa.
Thank you, Nicola. Hello, everyone. I'm Elsa Caleb. I too started my career as a civil servant. and then went into the arts. But in relation to the business side of things, I actually started my business as a consultant working for Portobello Business Centre. And what I'm really pleased to say is over 20 years, I'm still there. The British Business Bank, along with the startup loans, is where I really got to understand the back end of working with businesses. Working with the Harrow Council gave me the opportunity to work with the retail businesses. Okay, and then the University of East London actually gave me the experience to work as a project manager, working with sponsorship, large companies, and looking at the competition side within the entrepreneurial field. And this SPEDI, which is the Small Firms Enterprise Development Initiative, I was the chair, then later owned a Centre of Excellence. This is where I actually started to develop business courses. And this is the foundation of where the new course comes. I'll be delivering shortly. And also with Brandywin. I've only been with Brandywin a year, but I focus on the strategic side, so business strategy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elsa, and Nicola as well. So moving on now, a couple of slides on who we are and what we do. So we pride ourselves on saying we're the leading group of business advisors in London and the Southeast. And what we do is we work with local authorities, with chambers, with growth hubs, and a few entrepreneur hubs at a few universities. We talk to them about their strategic business support. What do they want to achieve? Where the funding is going to come from? Who is their target audience? And we deliver that to SMEs. So we are responsible for program delivery, for managing resource, allocating advisors, and at the end of every program, we produce an impact assessment as well. The way we deliver is through our members, in most cases in partnership with chambers. Chambers are sometimes our client, chambers are sometimes our partners. So that's what I was saying is the bedrock of a business model. So our members consist of business advisors and specialists, and sometimes when we don't have the capacity ourselves or when the program requires it, we bring in a few key associates. So this is an opportunity for an open invitation to anybody who's on the attendee list. If you believe you have something to offer us, something to offer SMEs through us, then you're most welcome to send me an email and we can have a chat. Okay. So, these programs are funded, so we get funded by local government authorities, growth hubs, etc. So they are absolutely free to our clients. We call them our clients. That's the SME sector. So what we deliver are 3 programs: Fit to Bid, Goal Mapper, and Peer Networks. So let me take you through that in a minute. But before that, this is a slide that we're extremely proud of, but I can tell you it's taken us 11 years to make this one slide. And that's the point as well. We are around because we believe in working with other key people. We share revenues, we share resources, we share skills, we share issues, and we address them as well jointly. So working alone, we wouldn't be able to get this far. Working together with these illustrious brands and these local authorities, banks, etc., we work with very closely. At any given time, we have a contract with at least 4 or 5 of them, and if not now, we hope to be working again with them in the years to come. It's very important that you look at this slide and think, how can you as a business get to a point where you have a similar slide in a few years' time? And that is a challenge. If you get to this, if you can create a slide like this for your own business in 5-6 years' time, you'll have not only survived, you'll be successful, you'll be profitable, and you will be a sustainable sort of business, which you could pass on to other members of your family, or you could sell on and exit. But you'll be a profitable and a credible sort of a business. That's important to think about. Developing key partnerships, key to our business. Okay. Programs are delivered again in a collaboration in 2020, and this gives you an idea of what we do. We in 2020, just before lockdown hit, we took up a big program with Heathrow. Unfortunately, as you know, Heathrow imploded by September 2020. It was completely shut. So we've agreed with Ealing Council. We'll postpone some of the outcomes bit to next year. So that's what we're going to do after April. Brent Adult, social care, we trained their adult social care providers to be able to bid for large, tenders, part of a community wealth building to keep the money within the borough. East London, a small program, it was a breakthrough one. We have a lovely lady in East London, Janice, and she helped us to win this, and she delivered that as well. So this is to do with leadership and management during difficult times. Hillingdon, a big program we just ended, and and one of the key outcomes was this was based around a big construction sort of a project. It's called Seagrow Park Hayes at the old Nestle site. Some of you may have seen it on the way to the airport. That's now a huge new, it's a new development, and we use that development. We use the funding from Section 106, and we managed to train about 100 local builders, of which 21 submitted expressions of interest. So a great success. By expressions of interest, meaning that they were going to be shortlisted for bids. Hopefully by April or June of this year, we will know how many have actually won a bid. Hounslow Innovate and Grow program, May to June, extended to July. We're doing something more this year as well. And the Park Royal one is will finish in March of this year. This was digital skills, a goal mapper, business development skills as well. Our current ones, Hertfordshire, are very close to home. For the in terms of years, as a third year, we're doing 2020, 21, and 22. With the third year running, for over 2 programs, we are delivering peer networks. We are contracted by Hertfordshire Chamber of Commerce through the Hertfordshire Growth Hub, and both Nicola and Elsa are the top performers. They are the facilitators on this as well. Whilst this program has been extended to the Watford area as well, we have a few clients so at any given, every year we've had about 100 or so businesses on the program, and that includes quite a few businesses from the Watford area as well. Brent, we're doing something new for the community, for local community which has been badly hit. Hounslow, we're doing something from now to Jan. This is very interesting. This is to help local businesses access large retailers. So we're using our Fit to Bid, we're adapting it, and we're helping them to access large retailers like Costco, John Lewis, Tesco, etc. We have planned a panel on the 31st of March, and we have a series of events basically leading up to that series of events and training as well. Hammersmith and Fulham, a big program, but now let's talk about Watford. So that's a big focus for us. This year we are very proud and very, because I live on the Harrow Watford borders. Hertfordshire is about 200 yards away from where I live, so I'm almost there. Nicola lives she's worked in the Watford area for many years, and we've been a member of the chamber for many years. So when we got an opportunity to bid, we worked very closely with Emma, and we managed to put in a successful bid, and we are very grateful and delighted to be working with businesses in the Watford area. Okay. So on that note, just a couple of slides. Fit to Bid, this is what we do. We help local businesses get trained, and we improve their business skills and help them to win more contracts. That's the objective. So this is a separate program. We are talking to Watford Council. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to help you with this as well. Goal Mapper is what we do in terms of business support. This is a business recovery and regeneration, and digital skills and women entrepreneurs falls within this. So we have tools for initial analysis. We use the building blocks of the canvas, whether your business is desirable, can you make it, are you a feasibility, and can you make money, are you viable, and adaptability is looking at the business from outside. Hopefully that will result in an action plan, which is then documented on an action card as well. So it's sent to you. And our range of businesses that we talk to are from startups. So if you're a startup, if you're an early stage business, you're most welcome on the program. If you're a growing business, and we have very few established, but then we get a few staff who are welcome to join the digital skills ones as well. So that's what we do, and hope that's given you a good idea of who we are and what we do. So I'm going to hand over now back to Nicola, please.
Thank you, Nazar. So the digital skills program is my baby. so to speak. We're going in the wrong direction now, son.
Sorry, okay.
That's all right. That's fine, not a problem. Okay, and it is designed primarily with business owners in mind, but as Anata just alluded to, some personnel who work for the business owners may actually be good to attend as well. It's certainly open, the webinar side of things definitely open to them. All of the webinars that we will be hosting and giving are practical. The whole point is not to go into the theory, but to say, okay, why should I be doing this? Now I've decided that this is the right route. How do I go about it? Where is the help? And how can I make sure I'm successful in using whichever digital platform, tool, or software that you decide to go for? So it might be that you're looking at using LinkedIn. It could be that you're wanting your website to work more effectively. It could be that you've heard about database marketing, but don't know how to leverage it properly. Whatever your digital requirement is in this particular arena, we've got a webinar which is going to suit you. And all of the webinars are very goal-driven, outcome-driven. It's all about how to make it work for your particular business, whether you be a startup or a well-established business who now wants to embrace the digital world. So if we can move on, Nauza, I think we'll just look at the programme. Thank you. So these are some of the topics which are being covered. Fundamentally, there's a very nice wide range of different topics which will be going in depth. Each of the webinars are an hour long, but there will be plenty of opportunity to ask questions and have a little bit of practical application during them as well. We try to make them interactive where possible. I personally will be giving some of these ones, and where we've got other people with more not in-depth knowledge about very specific areas, they will be giving those. So whether it is LinkedIn, selling online, we've got websites, how to make those all work, we've got video marketing, direct database marketing, using the systems which are there and available, and ensuring that you are compliant whilst doing all of that activity, and putting in protocols and checks and balances to ensure that you don't fall foul of any regulations. Finally, this digital skills programme for a few lucky companies, they must be based in Watford. I think it's on a first come first served basis. There are no other qualifications required apart from the fact that you're based in Watford. We will be running 2 sessions of 1 hour each on a one-to-one basis, where you can come and talk to one of the professionals. Now that might be me, but if you were interested in Amazon selling, then it might well be with one of my colleagues. So they're one-to-one sessions, completely confidential. And out of those, there will come an action card. And this is this is completed together with the person who is doing the one-to-one session, where we look at your major issues that you want to deal with, and then we create an action plan as to how you might achieve those. And it's a very simple little process to make sure that you've got something in your hand to go away with. Now, so is there anything else that I need to say about the action plans that I've missed at all?
No, I think you said the right things. The only thing I would like to add that these one-to-one sessions are gold dust. Okay, so these
Yes.
these are extremely, I mean, valuable. They have a great impact. I mean, if I wanted some help, and if I went to a senior person who's been there and essentially who's done that, I would come away with a lot. I would come away with a few key actions, and that would help my business. So I would urge you, if you're interested, then just wait for a couple of more slides. We'll show you how to contact us, and please put in an application, a very simple application to join us. But these are gold dust, and there are one-to-one advice sessions for both for the digital skills and the women entrepreneurs, but Nicola's put this thing across here, and we'll have action cards for both the programs. Okay, thank you, Nicola.
Thank you very much, Nauza. So you're already ahead of the game by attending this this launch, because you know about it and nobody else does. And given that we've got the first 20 places available, I would urge you to follow the instructions at the end, and also to sign up for any or all of our webinars. They are all incredibly useful and practically orientated, and they don't assume that you know how to use the systems in advance. So, you know, don't imagine that you're going to be blinded by science. That's not the way I work. It will be hands-on, nuts and bolts. This is how you do it. So please, I urge you to join us. I think you'll find them incredibly useful. They are running over a 6-month period, and I look forward to seeing you. Now, without any more ado, I'm going to pass you over to Elsa, who's going to talk about her fantastic programme.
Thanks, Nicola. Where I want to start is with the pandemic. During the pandemic, women have been specifically affected by the economic impacts of the coronavirus. They were overrepresented in some of the worst hit sectors, such as retail, accommodation, travel and food services, and unpaid care, where most job losses occurred. Overall, more women than men have been furloughed across the UK, and young women have been particularly impacted. There's also been an increase in abuse, both physical and emotional, and we're all aware of the mental issues that have also increased. Our focus is on the women's economic empowerment, to be able to equip and support them to overcome their setbacks during the post-pandemic recovery period. When I mention women, we're also addressing the Black, Asian and minority ethnic, mothers who have been made redundant due to lack of adequate childcare, women with disabilities, women with care responsibilities who requested furlough following school closures in 2021 who had their requests denied. I'm also including the mature section of the workforce who have also got so many skills and experiences that they've used to, and they want to use it to make money, and in some cases start their own business. So the program is for women entrepreneurs who want to be equipped with relevant business skills, with structured business support, whilst developing a good understanding of the complex issues running a business. It's aimed at women who've had, as I say, a setback in life and really want an opportunity to restart their lives, or those who wanted an extended break from their chosen careers and are evaluating the prospect of self-employment. In other words, they want to define success on their terms, boost their confidence, provide for their family, especially if they are the main breadwinner, and make a dream a reality, achieve a work-life balance. We won't do this in isolation. We will work closely with the Chamber and the Council. Next slide, please. May I have the next slide, please? Sorry, thank you. Each participant will be provided with an assessment in relation to their business idea and their skills. And we want to be able to assess the viability of the idea and to identify the skills gap. Okay, and then they'll also have access to the 2 confidential one-to-one business advice sessions, and they're going to be tailor-made for their journey. And as Nelsa said earlier, to complete a business model canvas, which will enable them to do the research and have all their ideas down on paper or one page, and they'll be able to see at a glance how the business is actually, and business actually joins up. I also want to ensure that they get to understand what a value proposition is, and also be able to test the market to understand the viability of their business. And through the sessions, they'll also be asked to keep a personal journal, so they themselves can capture their journey in a realistic way. And what's interesting is once they've actually completed the program, and when they look back to where they started, they will be amazed at how far they're actually, come. And throughout the sessions, we'll be working on their communication skills, as they will have to perform a short presentation at the end of the program. And the women themselves will have will need to be totally committed for the 8 weeks. We do give regular feedback, and it's crucial throughout the time that we give this so that they themselves know exactly where they are and what areas they really need to work on. The program will not be just delivered by myself. We have specialists in all areas. And as I said, the Chamber and the business support within the borough, we will actually be working closely with them. I have a case study of one of the women that went on a very similar course that I conducted. And what was interesting with this woman, let's call her Cece, for example, she was able to, well, what happened was she had a mental disorder and lacked a lot of confidence. She also had financial problems because she used to ride her bike to the sessions. And the skills that she had was really, well, were okay, but she lacked the financial side. So what was interesting, and she was actually afraid of things like spreadsheets, financial management, budgeting. And I'll actually read from what she said here. Okay. She wrote, going it alone felt scary and overwhelming, but Elsa gave us a roadmap towards setting up and launching our business, breaking down the overwhelming parts, including the dreaded financial stuff. So that it felt more manageable. Before I knew it, I not only had a business plan, but clear accounts to manage my own income and expenses. I can honestly say, when it came to submitting my first tax return, it was easy, and I never thought that's a word I would use in relation to anything finance related. I've since met up with Cece. Cece has not only given up her bike, she's bought herself a car. She no longer lives in London because she bought a house just outside London. She's now got her dog. And what she says is she's so happy that she's been able to have that financial freedom to do what it is that she wanted to do. Thank you. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so this is the 8-week course, and you'll see that it starts from setting goals, you know, some of the basic things that people kind of take for granted. But we don't take any of this program for granted at all, because as time moves on, people's goals change, the confidence levels change, etc. So we will go back to basics, right back to starting a business. As I said, we will be bringing specialists to look on each section, but the business model canvas is really where I sit. I want to ensure that they do understand that, and they understand the whole 9 components of that business model. And then as we take them through from week 3 all the way through to week 8, they will gain an understanding, not only just from a professional side, in other words, an expert that's currently doing it at the moment, but we'll be able to break it down bit by bit, day by day, so that they understand it, they can digest it, and be able to use what it is that they've learned to build their business. And you'll find that for the 8 companies, in other words, sorry, the 15 companies, in other words, the 15 women involved, as I said earlier, they'll have 2 sessions of one-to-one business advice, and to be expected to complete an action card that they themselves will be able to use and also develop their business. Thank you. Thanks, Nauza. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elsa, and Nicola too. So we're just coming to last slide or so before we open it up for chat and for questions. Okay, so we know that Watford Council is totally committed. They've put money up front. We are delivering. We've been appointed. We're working with the chamber. We're going to make it happen. So what's required of you and the attendees, what we require of SMEs is for digital skills, attend the webinars. And if you want a one-to-one session, that's the email address at nicola@brandwin.co.uk. And for women entrepreneurs to commit to active in participation over an 8-week period and request a one-to-one session, you can email Elsa as well at the same address. So I hope this has given you an idea of what we're going to do in Watford. We're going to be kicking it off with the first sessions in about 2 weeks' time. Just wait for the emails, wait for the Eventbrite links, and we'll make it easy for you to register as we always do and to join us as well. So on that basis, I'm going to open it up now and hand over to you, Nicola, to manage it. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to have answered, or any comments that they'd like to make? I think, yes, we've got them in the Q&A. So any funding tips or information, financial support. So would one of the other panel members like to lead on that? I think Jane, probably you talked quite a bit about funding tips. Do you mean, can I just ask a question? Do you mean funding tips as in obtaining grants, or funding tips as in getting loans? Okay. So now, so would you mind answering? Yes, grants would be great. Okay, so which case that's Jane.
I can kind of pick that up. So again, I would signpost people to the watfordbusiness.com website. I don't know what type of business or what sector Sajida's business is in, so it's difficult to be very specific to her case. But as I say, at the moment, we so this week we'll be having our Omicron support grants will be going live. So depending on the sector that her business is in, that sort of may or may not be relevant. We've got the growth grant, which is about kind of investing in a business. We've got grants for third sector businesses. Also on the website, there is information about other grants that are available. So for example, the Hertfordshire Growth Hub has a Get Growing grant, which is match funded, and that is up to £10,000. And what's particularly great is we're allowing our own growth grant to be used as match towards that grant as well. So if a business is eligible, it could receive actually up to £20,000 of funding to invest in their business. What there isn't much of at the moment are grants that basically provide working capital, support your cash flow. The Omicron grants that we have can support that, but all of our other grants, or all of the other kind of Hertfordshire-wide grants, do have a specific purpose, which is normally has an element in investing in your business associated with it. Right, so I've just noticed it says wedding and fashion photographer. So if you're in Watford, then absolutely the home-based discretionary grant for Omicron is something you'd be able to apply for. And as I say, watch out, that will be launching this week.
There's a question here, Nicola, on the...
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was just looking for my unmute button, which I couldn't locate. So we've got two questions. One is for Elsa and the other is for Jane. So the first one is, sounds like an incredible support package, Elsa. How is the Women's Entrepreneur Programme funded? And is there any eligibility criteria on the website? And also, that following on from that, for other support discussed today, would the business sole trader need to be registered at a Watford address, or could be they residing registered with another area of Hertfordshire but providing services in the Watford area? So
can I take this?
Yes,
can I take the first part, please, Elsa, if I can?
By all means.
Okay. The program is basically funded by Watford, by the borough. So it's part of the package. It was announced at an open, tender. We won a tender, and based on what Elsa has been doing elsewhere, the eligibility criteria, it's not yet on the website, but as you could have as you'll see from the recording and the slides, that there was a slide there on the eligibility. If I could just bring you in for a minute, Elsa, then I'll take the other side of it again, please. On this, on the eligibility, if you just explain who can attend this, please. Thank you.
Yeah, as I said, women that actually are passionate and want to start a business, we will actually work with those that perhaps have never run a business before, but we need to make sure that they're committed for the 8 weeks, yeah, because that is crucial, and they're willing to do the work, because 8 weeks sounds a long time, but it's not when you're actually trying to develop a business. So yeah. Okay, I don't know if I've answered all that question.
Thank you. To answer your second question, my understanding is, whilst you can join the program if you're based in Hertfordshire, but ideally you should be registered at the Watford address. But going by other programs we deliver, for example, the one we deliver in Hounslow, If you're providing services in the Watford area, if you've got clients in the Watford area, then you're most welcome to join the program.
Thank you very much.
Saffron, you want to say something on that, please?
I just wanted to come in and suggest that, you know, that there's a journey here. These programs, as we've said, are great to support your business, both the programs. You know, when you've come to the end of that and it's time to become more visible and you want to get your business out there, you want to start networking and that kind of stuff, then come along and have a chat with the Chamber, because we can then take you to the next stage.
Thank you very much, Saffron. I'd like to pass the speaking slot over to Jane, who wants to answer one of the questions.
Yeah, just kind of to reiterate, one of the questions kind of came back. What is the website? So www.watfordbusiness.com is our kind of first stop information point for all of the grant programs that the council has. It may direct you off to other places, but that is the kind of first stop shop, so that should have everything there. In terms of eligibility and support with the programs, so the money that Watford Borough Council is putting into these programs is obviously kind of coming out of our budget. So our focus is on supporting Watford residents and Watford businesses. So that is our first priority. Obviously, when there are kind of public events, information events, webinars, people are able to kind of join them. That isn't a problem at all. So we're not being so prescriptive that we would not allow people from outside the borough to attend the kind of workshops. But particularly when it kind of comes to grants, we are very much focused on supporting our local residents and our local economy for that. So again, the eligibility criteria will be is on all of the web pages. Some of them do have a kind of simple form that you need to kind of fill in to kind of get through. So eligibility criteria will be checked then. And if for example, with the growth grant, that you're outside of our geographic area that we're happy to support, then you will still be picked up by the Hertfordshire Growth Hub and still provided with support. So even though our focus is on kind of Watford residents and Watford businesses, we don't want to give any kind of wrong door, if you like, to the kind of wider business community. And we want to make sure that every business who kind of comes through our door is offered support, even if it's not directly by Watford Borough Council, if it's by one of our external business partners.
Thank you, Jane.
Very
I
much.
just want to add one point here. The programs are essentially, there are two deliverables. One is the webinars or the workshops. The second are the one-to-ones. I mean, historically, we've had some people from, one person from China, from Korea, from the US also attend our webinars. It's impossible to ask them to leave the webinar. So I guess from a webinar basis, if you're interested, if you really like that subject, if you want to learn, then you're welcome to join a webinar. But the one-to-ones are restricted to businesses which have addresses in the Watford area. And so is the participation for the women's entrepreneurship as well, that you've got to be based in the Watford borough area to be able to join the two programs. Hope that clarifies. But for the webinars, you're welcome. I mean, we can't stop anybody, and you're welcome. Okay.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much to all of the panel and all of your questions. And we look forward to everybody who's attended today getting involved. I'm hoping that we have now answered. Please let me know how we can sign up and join in. Okay, so we've put quite a lot of information in the chat. And the recording of this will also be available on our YouTube channel. So you will get some further information very shortly. I'll hand over to Nelsa just to wind everything up, but thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you all. Thank you all for attending. Thank you to our excellent panel. Many thanks for making it here today, and thank you for sharing information. If anybody's we will be sending out links. We'll be sending out a copy of the presentation or a webinar recording. We will also be sending out, and in that recording on the slide, we'll have information on how you can register for the one-to-ones, and look forward to working with businesses in the Watford area and to help you to develop your business. Many thanks and see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Have a great